All right. Hello, everybody. Let's talk super quick about how to turn a no into a yes, y'all. And not in a weird way, not in a weird, sleazy car salesman way. No offense to any car salesman out there. I'm sure there's a cream of the crop somewhere, right? But there, you still there's something to be said. Anyway, if this is your very first video here, make sure that you click the subscribe button and that you also hit the bell so you get notifications whenever we go live. We go live every single day, but it is not always the same time every day because it's when we can. So, all right. Also, if you have questions, hey, Sherry. Also, if you have questions, make sure that you go ahead and put them in the comments. I will answer them at the end. Ask them as you are thinking of them, okay? Don't wait to the end and be like, oh, I meant to ask this thing, because I might be sitting there asking for questions and you're typing in and then I won't know that you're asking questions. So ask them in the middle of when I'm talking. It's okay. I'll just answer them at the end. Okay. So there are 3 points that we're going to hit here. The very first one is what to do. Well, basically, I need to define what an objection is in case you aren't familiar with what an objection is. I know that most people are. If you're not, an objection is basically somebody saying no or saying, I can't because of this reason. That's what an objection is. So like in a sales thing, Abigail, ready for this? I know you are, girl. I know you are. You're sitting there like the road runner, like the legs spinning, right? Like, let's do this, right? Okay. So no is the objection. That's what an objection is. Okay. So how to turn a no into a yes. First, you need to know what you need to do with an objection, you guys. All right. So what do we do with that? I actually mentioned this in one of my groups earlier, in a 20 and 30 group of mine. We're going to go over 3 different things. This is the first thing. I mentioned this in a 20 and 30 group of mine earlier today. Had a towel on my head, fresh out of the shower, was thinking about it and wanted them to know about it. What do you do when somebody gives you an objection? What do you do when somebody says, whenever like you make an offer or you have had a sales consultation, you've asked them questions and then you found out what their needs are. And then based on what their needs are, you made a suggestion, right? What if they say, oh, I don't know, I don't know if I can do that, or I don't know if that's right, or whatever. What do you do? Well, I'm going to tell you what not to do. What you don't do is you don't say that they are wrong. You don't say that they are wrong in their belief that they can't do that thing, you guys. The minute because they have that belief for a reason. They have that belief is in them because they have failed at something in the past. Somebody has told them that they can't do something. Their Aunt Sally tried to do something and it didn't work for them. So now this is their belief about everything. Their belief is their belief for a reason, and their belief is not wrong. Their opinion and their emotions around that belief, y'all, is not wrong. Their belief is as much of their reality as you're standing on the ground. Like that is their reality. So if you come at them and say, oh no, that's not true, you're not going very far with that person. You've just told that person that something that they believe very strongly and that they know about themselves is not true. Okay? So what that actually makes you look like, and you don't mean to, I'm certain, but what that makes you look like is that you don't care and you're not listening and you're not connecting with that person. Okay? So what do we do with an objection instead? What we do is we sort of like we align with it. We say like, okay, first of all, the first filter we need to go through is, did we experience that same objection? Do we understand that objection? Did we feel that same objection? Okay. So instead of getting defensive and saying, oh no, right? Like, let's try to just scoot it out of the way. Don't do that. You have to address the objection, you guys. So what we do is we see, did I also have that same objection? That's the first filter that you go through. If you had that same objection, you guys, it's very easy. All you do is you align with it. You call out the elephant in the room. Hey, listen, I get that you would think that. I thought the same thing, right? Until I found out that X, Y, and Z, right? I had that same objection. Listen, I was there too. And you know what? When you're truly using your bat signal, if you're not familiar with that, it's in Golden Six or Go for Gold. It's a course you guys can look up. um, but if you're truly using your bat signal, you've got people just like you coming to you. So it's super likely that they're going to give you objections that are exactly like the objections that you had because they are a lot like you. Okay. So whenever they give you objections, what you do is you align with it, you honor it, you look at it, and you say, okay, yeah, I get that. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. I actually felt the same way. And then I found out X, Y, and Z. Okay. And then you move on. You don't act like that objection isn't there. Okay, we have to honor the fact that somebody has an objection and not just try to scoot it out of the way. You try to scoot it out of the way, and it's very likely you're going to get ghosted. It's very likely you're going to tick them off, and then you're not going to get their business right then or probably any time in the future. Okay, let's try to honor people where they are. That's what we're doing here, right? We're not selling stuff to them. We're honoring them where they are in their process. And then, and if they end up purchasing right then, awesome. If not, that's okay too. But you know what? They're going to be open to it in the future because you didn't make them feel like a weirdo or wrong for feeling the way that they felt. They're entitled to feel the way that they feel, right? So that's the very first thing. That's one way to turn a no into a yes, because an objection is a no. And you can turn it into a yes just by saying, I totally get what you're saying. Like if somebody were to say to me, this is a big one. If somebody were to say to me, like if I were talking to them about the opportunity or whatever, if they were to say to me like, I don't really think I can do network marketing, I would level with them and be like, hey, listen, I didn't either. And I actually had a really bad opinion about network marketing. Not only did I not think I could do it, I thought that the people that were doing it were sleazy. I'm going to use the word. I thought the people that were doing it were sleazy. And then what I found out is that was some companies. That was like some people do come across that way. But whenever I got into this, what I realized is like, this just feels good. And I'm just making friends and feeling good about myself every day. And not one single minute or second of the day do I ever feel like a sleazeball because all I'm doing is helping people. Do you see how that objection turned around? And I'm not lying. I'm saying like, yeah, I thought the same thing as you. And then I found out X, Y, and Z. That's how it goes, okay? It's very, very easy. Let me know if you have any questions about that, okay? And then we're going to move on to the second point. Sherry, in our lead group, can we share with our upline? Is it good to plug them into our big group page? I think if you've got a good relationship with your upline, it's definitely okay to do that for sure. That's, yeah. Also, I mean, I'm not sure which lead group, I guess. There's a couple courses, but I'm not sure which lead group. If you're talking about like the main one from Go for Gold, I would just be cautious because the people, here's the thing. The conversation I would have is if your leader comes in there and then adds other people that are cross-lined to you, and then they add their leads in there, their leads may end up with you. So the cross-line people maybe need to start their own groups because there's no, like their leads could end up with you. They really should be doing their own thing. Abigail, what if they believe the possibility is there, but their objection is others can do this, but they don't believe in their own abilities? Have you ever felt that way about anything? Did you ever feel that way about this at all? I think a lot of us have felt that way about this. So I think align with it and turn it with what you have found out. Like I believed that as well. But then what I found out is we have a system here that is literally working for everybody. So now I know that there is something I can hang my hat on, right? So that's how I would approach that one. Katie Lynn, perception. Happy birthday, by the way. I saw your birthday was yesterday, and I did not get to say happy birthday to you. So happy birthday. Perception is reality. A minister told me that once, and it really opened up my eyes for communicating with others. It's just that everyone's perception is different. Exactly right. Exactly right. So sometimes I geek out. Well, always I geek out on quantum physics. And I was just driving down the road the other day and thinking about how, well, perception is reality, but everybody's reality is literally different. Things change based on how you observe them and things like that. So my reality and my husband's reality could be completely different. And we live in the same house and we have pretty much very similar lives, but our realities could be different, right? And likely are in some ways. We just have to understand that what we see is not what everybody sees, right? It's just simply not, which is what makes the world go round. I mean, if it was, it would be really boring. Abigail, like it definitely seems like a self-confidence, lack of systems issue. 100%. Whenever you have lack of systems, when you don't have systems, you don't have confidence, period. You can't even fake it. You can't even fake confidence when you don't have systems. You're literally throwing stuff at the wall and like, I'm going to see if that works. I'm going to see if that works. And you don't know. You don't know if it's going to work. So you can't build confidence in that, and people can't be attracted to the confidence that should be built in that. Sherry, my main lead group. Okay, yeah. So answer what I answered before works then. Abigail, okay, totally. That's basically what I said, but I think I can polish it more. Awesome. Perfect. Katie Lynn, oh, thank you. Yes, quantum physics. Yes. Yeah. Okay, we're going to move on to the second question, or the second point. The second point on how to turn a no into a yes is going to be that you nurture a no into a yes. So that one conversation that you were having with somebody that was like handling objections, that one conversation that you're having with them is just one conversation. And yeah, you handled objections, but the stat is 7 to 15 times. People need to see something, see an opportunity, or see a product 7 to 15 times before they make a buying decision. And that is a scalable stat, you guys. So 7 to 15 times. So there are those people, and it's about 2 to 3% of the people are going in your audience are going to buy whatever you're selling or are going to join you in whatever opportunity you're doing. 2 to 3% are going to do that, okay? Because they're there for it, right? Like they're just ready to go. But the rest of the people need to be touched 7 to 15 times, okay? Well, how do you do that? You can either set it up in a CRM to make sure that you touch in with them or that you touch base with them, you text them, you call them, you do all of that stuff. But that feels like a lot of work, doesn't it? Like that's a lot of exposure that you need to do before somebody's going to buy something. And depending on how many times you can do it without looking like a total weirdo, it could take a very long time for you to even get through those touches. And by then, has somebody else nabbed them up in the process or whatever, right? So I have a process in Go for Gold, which again, I'm just going to put it in here. It's gold.withmartha.com/go for gold. Use the code GROW40 to get 40 off. Okay. This has a way, it's in the system for people to get that exposure in a one-to-many way. Okay, so let me explain what that actually means. Because if you're going to one-to-one reach out to somebody 7 to 15 times, you can imagine how long that could potentially take, because you can't do it every day for 15 days because that gets weird and you might get blocked, and that's overkill, right? But we have a way that we do it in Go for Gold where you are doing one action and it is reaching all of your leads at once. Okay. and then you do another action and it reaches everybody. So you continuously do those things and your leads are getting those exposures all over the place, but you're not having to manage those exposures. Does that make sense? Because that's a huge, huge deal. That is dare I say, game changer. That is a complete game changer, okay? Because if you have to keep having classes or if you have to keep reaching out to people, that's not going to happen. Not duplicatable. Something that is duplicatable is the Go for Gold system, okay? And that for you guys that are watching that are with Young Living, that's for it's for Young Living people, okay? And it's also it's the way that I built my team to goals within 6 months, and it typically takes shy of 5 years. Okay. So that's how good it is. That's how good it is. All right. Any questions about that? And then I'm going to move on to the last point. The last point's good too. I'm going to give you a second to go ahead and get your questions in about that last one. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and move on, but your questions, I'll answer your questions as they come in. So the very last point, you guys, don't take it personally. So again, remember the title of this is how to turn a no into a yes. And one of the main points is do not take it personally. The reason why that is how you turn a no into a yes is because if you take it personally, you're automatically going to get a certain kind of way and they're just going to go away. Even if they were like maybe around for those other touches and they were maybe going to still, turn into a yes, if you take it personally and you get saucy with them, they're going to go away. Okay. Not only are they going to go away, they're going to tell people. It's a rule of 5, you guys, that people will tell 5 people that they had a bad experience, and that works with everything. Abigail, that has been a game changer for me. I definitely used to suck at it. Katie Lynn, thank you. I take rejection so hard, but I've really worked on it, brushing it off and moving forward. They will come around. Here's the easiest way for me to deal with rejection. They're not rejecting you. They're not rejecting the opportunity. They're not rejecting anything about you and your life and your situation, okay? They have limitations. They have their own barriers. And when they say they can't do something, or when they're rejecting, or when they're saying no to what you've offered, they're saying they can't do it. They can't see it for themselves. Okay. So that's what we're working with. Okay. People go through all sorts of stuff that we don't know that they're going through. People's childhoods have looked like all sorts of things that we don't know a thing about, right? Let's not judge them. Let's not take it personally when they say no, because we know what we have here at Young Living. We know what we have, and we know that it's life-changing. And if we allow somebody to say no to us, we get upset, and then we don't go back to that person and never, ever want to help that person ever again in life. That's not doing what we came here to do. Okay. So we don't take it personally. We just love them. And then whenever they want to come back, whenever they want to come back, they will. And you guys, they're going to feel safe in doing so because you didn't get saucy with them. Okay. They're expressing their limitations. And when you get upset, I'm going to say something. When you get upset, you're expressing yours. Okay? You guys have nothing to do with each other. Everybody's living their own thing. So when they express their limitations, love them in that. That's okay. It's all right. Listen, I got you. It's fine. If this isn't for you, it's not for you. That's all right. And then there's situational change, and maybe it'll be for them later, and they'll be back because you love them. Okay? But if they express their limitations to you and then you respond in, I'm mad, they're not going to have that opportunity. And then who knows? Who knows what the rest of their life looks like? Who knows what their kids' lives look like? You guys, this is so much bigger than us. So much bigger than us. Okay, that was the last one, though. Katie Lynn, same for me, Abigail. Sherry, I am so excited for this. I am running hard. How many times do you approach someone that keeps telling you they want it, but they are too busy to even start? I don't have people tell me they're too busy to even start. They just start. If they tell me that they're too busy to go to the website and sign up, I don't ever have them do that anyway. I call them, we three-way support, or I walk them through the site, or we sit side by side and I get it taken care of for them. However it goes, I make sure that I facilitate that for them because it's not that easy. So I make sure that I help them out with that. So somebody that tells you they're too busy to do something, first of all, I love busy people. If you want something done, ask a busy person to do it. So I love busy people. So let me help you. If you're busy, I totally get it. Let me help you get signed up then. I know what it's like to not have time. Okay. Katie Lynn, that's totally it. Thank you for that insight. Their own limitations. That helps me look at it differently. That's all it is, you guys. It's all it is. Anybody that ever gets saucy with you about anything, and this isn't just a no, but if people get saucy with you about anything, that's somebody that has had their heart broken. Okay. It's somebody that's had their heart broken in some way or another. And we just have to love them in those moments. And we're human, and it's very easy to go to anger or frustration or resentment. It's easy. Those are easy things to get to, right? What we need to rise to is love. We need to rise to, I get it. Listen, and even if they get mad at you, or if they're like, frustrated, if they're unnecessarily upset with you, that's even more reason to love them harder, because they're dealing with something, because that's not a normal reaction. Okay. Okay. Sherry, love that. Abigail, boom. Katie Lynn, you just had so many light bulbs go off. No need to project things outwards. So simple, yet so smart. Thank you. Oh my gosh, of course. I am in it for this. Well, cool, you guys. If you don't have any other questions, I'm going to pop out of here. I am going to be on here later on tonight, 7 o'clock, 7 Central Time. I'm going to be doing the Q&A live, and it's going to be Q&A about anything at all that I know about. So SEO, websites, blogging, social media marketing, keto, weight loss, inflammation, oils, hit and miss. I look a lot of things up, except for the stuff I use, of course. Supplements, anything. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I'm a researcher. I research anything I get curious about. I go boop, and we're gonna start researching that. So that happens at 7 o'clock tonight. I give away something in every one of my Q&A lives. Okay, so that is going to happen as well. So I will see you guys later. Have a good one until then.